We are on episode number 56 of Beyond the Gates. Let's go ahead and get into this recap. Okay, so the episode opened with Derrick moving out of Ashley's apartment. Then her mom stopped by and she saw Derrick's bags packed, and he was compelled to tell her what was going on, but she already knew that there was trouble in paradise because of Ashley's phone call that she made to her on last week. Now, Ashley's mom she's trying to shed light on the situation by making a joke that anything is resolvable over a bowl of spaghetti and meatballs. But Derrick missed it and his mind was on leaving, basically. But then right before she left, I think that Derrick just kind of rethought this thing all over again. And it just may have confirmed things for him because as her mom was leaving, she had to remind him not to throw the bowl away because it was reusable. And they don't want to piss off the universe by throwing it away, right? So I don't know. He still left, by the way. And while all of this was going on, Ashley went to the bar and she's crying. She called off work and everything, right? And then suddenly, guess who walked through the door? Andre. He saw her crying, and of course he offered to console her. And he was quite the friend, right? He's trying to get her not to be so hard on herself. And after talking with Andre, she did realize that Derrick is just kind of acting like any other guy would in this situation. But Andre, he was really quick to throw his arms around her. You know, he wanted to console her because he kind of cares about her. But low key, he really didn't know what to do in that situation for real. I mean, he trying to get with Ashley himself, right? So it's kind of awkward standing there advising her on how to keep a relationship afloat with Derrick while she's standing there slobbing all over him, right? But he kept it classy. I mean, he didn't do anything. He was just there to support his friend. Meanwhile, Derrick is down at the police station and he's begging Jacob. He's begging him to let him crash on his couch until he figured things out and what his next move was going to be. And Jacob was like, hell no. You ain't coming over there, dog, because I'll be in the doghouse, like, for real, because Ashley and his wife are like best friends. So he knew that she wasn't going to go for that. And he did give him some advice, though, is to basically reconnect with Ashley by taking her on a date. Not a group date, just the two of them. So he didn't leave him all the way hanging. Now, for some reason, everybody wants to talk to Jacob this episode. Kat also went down to the police station with her detective hat on, spilling all the beans on her suspicions of who, what, where, when, and how. Everything is relating to Operation Leslie. Now, she's determined to get Leslie and or Kat behind bars for ruining her family. And this is after Jacob told her to stay in her lane and to let them, the authorities, handle crazy as Leslie. But Kat just won't let up. She's like a little pit bull with lip gloss on. She told him that either Leslie or Eva went back to finish the job on Laura while she was in the hospital. She figured that since Laura didn't die in the motorcycle accident, that they went back to the hospital to poison her with the potassium overdose. Now, Jacob told her that he couldn't just take her word for it, that they needed hard evidence before they could make any legal moves. Then we see Tomas and Eva, and they're sitting inside Orphe Jean's, and Tomas told her that he heard that her mom is trying to pin Laura's motorcycle accident on her. And of course, Eva is denying any involvement. She just figured that Leslie is trying to pin the blame on her to deflect from the truth that she's the one who actually ran Laura off the road. And as they're sitting there talking about Eva's mom, he's immediately connecting to how Eva is feeling. And he's connecting to this feeling because he said that his dad is the same way as her mom. Can you believe this? Now, I wonder if he's just as crazy as she is. And they both agreed that they can really, laugh with their parents. They can have a good time. And then there's this switch that takes place when their parents do unthinkable things, like both of their parents' personalities are not consistent. So this is why they can't really turn on them or be mean to their parents, right? Because they do have a soft side. They do have this side that's actually nurturing and parental, right? That keeps them from doing them wrong in any way. So they're sitting there vibing and connecting. And Tomas, his hands are like folded in front of her, and she placed her hands on top of his. And then I think his hand then went on top of hers. Either way, they're holding hands, or they're cupping hands together right there on the table. in front of everybody. And we know that they're just basically sympathizing with each other's situation, showing that they understand. And they didn't pull away either. And this is the second instance where they're showing this affection, all touchy-feely. And he's feeling for Eva, right? Period. And apparently she's feeling him as well. Then Eva got a little concerned about Kat catching them, being affectionate, and then she called Tomas Kat's boyfriend. And then Tomas had to correct her because he knows that he's not Kat's boyfriend. And then he said, "I'm not her boyfriend because of you." So immediately she's thinking that he's got growing feelings for her, and this is why he can't connect with Kat. But then he told her, well, I couldn't connect with her, earlier because she's off trying to have you arrested. So it was like, okay, whatever. But it's not what he's saying with his mouth, it's what he's doing, right? You can't fight the feeling. And Eva has finally found someone in that town who has not turned on her, right? Who understands her and who likes her. And just because her half-sister is also interested in him, she's not going to back off, as Tomas is the only one who makes her feel half human. Well, him and Ted, right? Her dad. So now we see Leslie. She went to visit Laura in the hospital to fish for information. She wanted to know exactly what Laura told the police. And Laura admitted that she didn't really, see the person on the motorcycle, that the face was covered and it was pretty dark. And that's all that she told the police. And if Leslie couldn't get any creepier, this woman is standing over Laura's hospital bed looking crazier than a mother. Yeah. And Leslie planted the seed with Laura to lead her to believe that Eva caused her accident because that's what everyone else in town is going to think. So therefore, she suggested that Laura may be thinking the same thing. Then Kat showed up right in the nick of time and she put Leslie out of her hospital room. Laura then told her that it sounded like Leslie was about to confess to the accident. But before that, she led her to believe that Eva ran her off the road, trying to wash her hands clean of any wrongdoing. So Kat and Lauren, they're like putting two and two together, putting their heads together to figure out who ran her off the road. And whoever it was came back to finish up the job because Laura didn't die in that accident. This is exactly what she told Jacob, right? And she thinks that if it was Leslie who tried to indeed kill her, that she still may be in danger. And then Kat told her not to worry about it, that she was going to get to the bottom of it. She also told her that she was going to have a talk with security to make sure that Leslie never came back into her room. Then we moved to Miss Tracy and Anita. This is Anita's friend from the Articulates, right? Now, she showed up at the country club. Now, Miss Anita is a little self-conscious because she's at the country club and, she's got all of this and the that, and her husband's there and she's overdressed, of course, and she looked beautiful. Like that shirt or blouse, whatever it is, it's beautiful. Anyway, she feels like she's doing too much, and she was, but that's her life, right? But she wanted to kind of downplay on herself just to make Anita feel comfortable. So when she arrived, they said the hellos and, gave each other a hug. They had a lot of small talk, between the two of them, and they just kind of went back and forth, reminiscing about some things. And then they also reminisced about basically how they all wanted Vernon. And see, that's red flag number one. And how the other Articulate got mad because Vernon chose Anita and not them. See, that right there? You don't say that to me after all these years, right? This is my husband. About how you had the hots for him. She didn't say that in so many words, but that's what she meant. And Vernon's just sitting there, soaking it all in. Like, you're saying this in his face. And I tell you, listen, Miss Tracy is a bold one. Like, I have to keep my eye on her. And at first, I'm asking myself, why is Vernon sitting at the table with them while they're catching up, having girl talk? He was just glad that Anita had somebody else to talk to besides him. No, really, he was really relieved to see them get back together. Of course, he noticed how she lights up whenever she sings and whenever she talks about the girls. But he did eventually excuse himself after he felt like the third leg, right? But not before he complimented Tracy. and Tracy complimented him. And see, that's the kind of gentleman that Vernon is. If anything complimentary is going to be said, he's going to say it right there in front of Anita so that ain't no blurred lines, ain't no private conversations about how a good time has been to her, right? They chatted the evening away. They talked about all the good times and how they used to be sisters and how close they were before the Articulates, before Vernon, before the fame. They used to be really close, like sisters. And from their conversation, I'm taking that Tracy was the pretty one, and Sharon, that was her name, Sharon, she was the shapely one, the one that filled out the dresses. And Anita was the one with the vocal pipes, the one that could sing. So they all had these standout features and personalities, but their group manager, Dante Green, he pitted them against each other, right? And Anita said that she hated being called the pretty one because he would cause jealousy and angst between all of them, right? Which is pretty common in the music industry, which is a ploy to break them up, right? So that if they were to go solo, it would be easy to do, which is exactly what happened in their case. And I'm assuming that this is a part of what happened. Then the night grew older, and then Anita said, I got to get ready to go and catch my train. And then she said, no, you need to stay longer. And she said, well, okay, I guess I can get a hotel, and stay a little bit longer. And she was like, okay, that's great, but you're not going to stay at a hotel. You're going to stay at our house. And Anita, that was the wrong move. And I'm telling y'all, because we already seen in the next video that she's going to have to practically pull her friend off of her husband because she's a little too flirty, right? Now you've invited this lady into your home. Right? She already want him. Like, girl, you don't do that. That's what you don't do. But we're going to see how that plays out. And in our final scene, we see Derrick here coming home. Well, coming to Ashley's place. And she's all wrapped up in Andre's arms. And, it was innocent and everything. But he didn't see any of what we saw. But he hesitated before he opened the door. And he just kind of had his hand on the handle or hovered over the knob, and that ended the scene. He didn't really go in, he just kind of walked away. All right, so that's it, good people. That's all for episode number 56. I really enjoyed the episode. I enjoy all the episodes. The costumes are always on point. The hair, the makeup, the scenes, the music. Oh my gosh, I need to know who was on the track when they were in Orphe Jeans. Eva and Tomas. Oh my gosh, when he walked out, that music was playing. I'm like, woo. All right, y'all, go ahead and set that mood. So shout out to the music department or the sound department. They're doing a great job there. So I enjoyed the episode. I hope that you guys enjoyed it too. And if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. And if you're a fan of Beyond the Gates like I am, then go ahead and sub to the channel for more videos just like this one. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight, you guys, to Ruthless TV. And I'm going to see you in the next one.